If you are anything like me, then you occasionally cannot resist the urge to purchase a vintage retro chair that's in pretty good condition and for a decent price because you think that you could potentially make it into something awesome for a space you're working on. If that sounds familiar, then we have something deeply in common. In this case, I purchased 2 chairs and an ottoman. They all matched, and I inspected them, I looked at them, and I decided that I could revive these chairs for use in a space that I'm working on. So in this episode, I share with you the simple steps that I took to revive this chair. In the next episode, I'll be zooming the lens out and sharing with you the space that I created this chair for. And then further, I will be sharing with you how I furnished it, why I did this, and just everything therein. So stay tuned for that. On a personal note, I really want to thank everybody who supported and subscribed to Cade Made. Your comments and everything else has really inspired me to continue forward, to continue making videos on YouTube. So thank you very, very much for inspiring me, and I hope this video inspires you. Welcome to this episode. All right, let's get going. I think I found him. Ottoman, chair, woven into the fabric. I mean, these colors are pretty amazing. Oh my gosh, yes. So yeah, we now have these chairs, and they're very retro, but I want to kind of like bring you in on this. So as an option to kind of give these a little bit more of a modern flair, is I could take the skirts off and it would kind of like be okay. These are stapled in, and the upholstery continues from here under here, and it doesn't appear as though they're faded. So I feel like I could get away with doing that if I wanted to. Do we need both here? And that's the other question, is like maybe one of these goes somewhere else for now, and at least we have one chair with an ottoman, and then this other chair can go somewhere else. Oh my God, this is gonna be so easy. Perfect. It looks so good. It's gonna be fine. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. Am I gonna just be able to do this? What a freaking mahaya. This is so satisfying. I thought this was gonna be such a freaking pain in the ass. Oh my.
I found the skirt's seam towards the back, and I just tore it from there and then worked my way outward from there. And these staples pulled out miraculously well. I was incredibly impressed. And also the upholstery is in really great condition. It's woven polyester fiber, so it doesn't really surprise me. Next, I spun off the legs on both the ottoman and the chair, and I took them outside, just placing them in between the deck boards. And I used espresso gel stain to darken them up and just make the surfaces more cohesive. And I didn't even polycoat them, I just put the gel stain on there. This chair's seat cushion was quite floppy and seemingly kaput. So I used the cushion as a template on new memory foam, which I did with a permanent marker, and then I simply took the old cushioning out of the upholstered seat cushion. You can really see here how far gone this cushioning was. I'm really happy that I just went ahead and did this. After double checking my template, I brought out some extra batting from an old seat cushion that I had and tore off as much as I need to just soften up this memory foam on top of what's there. And then I cut around what I didn't need, the excess off of that, kind of form fitting it as much as I could with the size that I had. And then I used a fine woodworking saw to cut the foam so that it was the shape of the old cushion. Again, quickly double checking. And then I'm making these little filler spots for the wings of the edges of this cushion because the size that I had didn't match that. But using a lot of Gorilla Glue spray adhesive, that worked really well. And then using more Gorilla Glue, you'll get used to this, on both sides, and then laying it on and then just pressing it in to each other. Trimming off a little excess here and there, and then also filling in the edges. I always do a quick pass over the craft and fabric section of thrift stores, and I found this batting that I'm using to secure that soft, fluffy batting to the memory foam cushion, and then cutting that out and kind of forming it to what's underneath, using plenty of Gorilla Glue spray adhesive around to secure that batting to both parts. It works really, really well. You would be so surprised about how adhesive it is. Now for this last layer, this is very thin batting that I as well thrifted, and I'm cutting it around to surround the whole collection of different layers of padding that I've applied to this cushion. And again, just cutting it out, forming it over, and making sure that there's plenty of excess to go over all of these parts. And there will be a top and a bottom of this cushion. I've honestly never done this before, but I did look at a couple of tutorials. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong here, but again, this is all improvisation. This seemed to work up until this point, no problem. I think that this whole process kind of went very well. I really feel like anybody could do this project. There's really no hard parts about it. Tucking these last pieces was a little mysterious. I didn't know how much to leave on or take off, or if it was going to even stay, especially with those little added padding on the wings that I did before, but everything really did come together quite well. And I am very certain that you cannot use enough spray adhesive on cushioning when you're putting it together.
Well, here's the back of my cushion, and here's the top, or the bottom, excuse me. And what I'm gonna try to do first is maybe do this inside out. I don't know. I really wanna manhandle. Okay.
In trying to combine these two pieces together, there was a point where I was not certain that this all was going to fit into the original size upholstery, but after a little bit of finagling and
nice and firm again. Lovely. Okay.
we got it. Wanted to make sure everything was, there was no wrinkles in anything before I zipped it up, because it might be the last time it gets zipped up.
Yay! That's the bottom. Okay, that looks good. Okay, how does that feel? Yeah, that feels so much better. It just feels like you're not going into the chair entirely. Oh, that's great. Love it.
For me, sometimes the unknowns are what keep me from getting started, but once I get going, you just gotta let me go. And I think that this chair turned out wonderfully, and it looks great in the space, and I'm excited to share more with you.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. We will see you so soon. Take care of yourselves until next time.